Hi. So in my last video, I talked about all the different kinds of symptoms that I have experienced that I think are related to IBS. And one of the biggest ones is pain. Pain, maybe, I mentioned in the back of my neck, but pain in the belly, in the abdomen. Certainly pain with elimination, pain in the backs of my legs. So Western medicine places a lot of significance on the amount of pain that a person is experiencing, not only with IBS, but with a lot of things, right? Like you go to the doctor and you have to say on a scale of 1 to 10, at least here in the States. So for me, they would ask me, like, how's your pain? And it always was a confusing question when I would go to see like a Western medical doctor, because that was such a small part of it. Although the pain could be excruciating sometimes, it was the whole experience that was actually so debilitating for me. It was the anxiety, it was the fear, it was the not knowing, it was being afraid to eat, it was being afraid to go anywhere. And I just felt like I was getting little bits and pieces of information, and that a lot of the guidance that I was getting was very dismissive of some of my concerns, just kind of, like I mentioned in a previous video, just eat the FODMAP diet. Like, just, it didn't take into the consideration the many, many, many factors. And on the other end of that, without not just picking on Western medicine, but also on alternative therapists with different modalities and things, which I've seen a number of different alternative therapists for different things. They can swing the whole other direction and say, this is what you have to do, and you have to eat exactly these things, and this will work for you. And that's also not true. That also didn't work for me. That also, I don't mean to say it's not true, but it wasn't true for me. So I just think that we're all different. I think that we all have different things that work for us and different things that don't. And sometimes things work for us and later they don't, and vice versa. And I think that's really, really important. And I wish I would have been a little bit more patient throughout my life. I think I would have had a lot less frustration with my journey if I could have just kind of kept that filed away, just remembering like, oh yeah, okay. So for a while I could eat oatmeal and then I couldn't. So something's changing. I guess I need to work with that. I need to just kind of go with the flow there and figure out what's going to work instead, that kind of thing. And that's just one tiny little example of the kinds of changes. So I wanted to let you just know that you're not crazy, if you're experiencing all these different symptoms. I said that in the last video, but if your pain threshold seems to be all over the map, you know what? That's okay. It's probably changing. It's probably some days you don't tolerate it as well, and some days maybe you're feeling better, even though your pain is still there. And pain is not the only regulator. Pain is not the one that you should reference your quality of life under. There's a whole lot more to this whole thing, this whole journey, than just how much pain are you experiencing, right? How about, how's your life? How are you living? How do you feel every day? There's a whole lot more to it than just pain. So I just wanted to take a minute and kind of talk about that a little bit, because I know, looking back, that was a big point of frustration for me. Even though I didn't know it at the time necessarily, there were different experiences with different doctors and different healers that I would feel myself kind of bristle and flare at some of their questions, because it just felt too cookie cutter. I mean, we're all just different. We're different, and you're going to find your way, just like I found my way. You absolutely will. Hang in there.